I was gonna start recording, and my lizard wants attention. If I don't give her attention, she'll sit there and scratch on the door to her. Here's one of my babies. The first time you've been on YouTube. This is Glaurung. A Chacoan mix, black and white Tegu. I know you want to get down and explore. I was about to record some YouTube. No, you chose the perfect time. Want to come out. Let's go explore. Can't let you do that right now. Not right now. Oh, your claw's in my nipple. Oh. Come here. Come up here. Yeah, just chill for a minute. Big baby. So today's video, as soon as she calms down, I'm going to go over all of the new particle changes, show you what the cool new moves are and what the old moves now look like, because most of them had a change in their particle effect. So I'm going to check that out. Okay. I know, you just want to go right onto the ground. Well, oh, ah. Come on. I'll put her back. Alright, so going over the Cleric's new moves following the super awesome Mega Patch. Smite looks a little different. Now you just throw a hammer that's a little bit electrified. Before you used to send like a spectral form of whatever weapon you had equipped. Now you just throw a little hammer. Divine Sacrifice still looks pretty much the same. Holy Blast looks a little different. Has a little bit of a little pop when it hits. Exorcism looks the same. Avatar State looks a little different. You have kind of like a glow about you with some lightning. Pretty cool. One of the first new moves with the Cleric is Justice Strike. You have to be melee. Right now you have to be really melee. I'm hoping they fix it so you can maybe be like this range, but like right here, as you can see, this wouldn't hit even with this giant axe or hammer. But if you get a little closer, you can hit them. It's supposed to deal 2 types of damage and heal you a little bit. It's also one of the Cleric's signature moves now, or signature abilities. So if you crit with it, you will swing twice. There you go. So it'll hit twice, heal you for a percentage. My damage on Justice Strike isn't very good because it does go off of physical damage. And Clerics only have physical damage if they're using the Pious set right now. And then Rage Wind will also have something similar. Regen looks a little different when you cast it. You can see you can definitely tell I'm healing up. Divine Shield also has like a little aura at your feet. Then the rotating shields. It lasts for only about 13 or 14 seconds instead of 2 minutes like it used to. But Divine Shield is AoE. So it will give all of your friends a shield, and is supposed to make them all immune to crowd control effects. Right now, there's a bug where it's not making you immune, but they'll fix it. The next move for the Cleric, and this is probably the best move in the Cleric's arsenal now, is Arbiter's Fury. You throw a hammer into the ground, and then it explodes with other hammers doing a lot of damage. Now, each one of those hammers does like a decent amount, like nothing to scoff at. But if you throw it at the enemy's feet, you can do massive amounts of damage. As you can see, I did almost 200,000 damage just with one ability right there. So with that going off and you're running your whole skill rotation, it would be pretty crazy. Then you have Holy Light, which has a little bit different animation when it hits somebody, and is another signature move. So you'll fire 2 Holy Lights instead of 1. And then Heavenly Strike is the last signature move. for the clerics, and it also had a really cool change. Before, you would call down like a soft beam of light, and it would kind of do like a cloud effect. Now it's a lightning strike, and as you can see, that little strike at the end there, that was a secondary hit because it was a crit. So Heavenly Strike looks pretty badass now. Boom! Oh, 2 crits in a row. Nice. So the change for rogues in this patch, they didn't get any new passives. They did get one new move called Ambush, which I will show you. They got a big change to all of their particle effects while they're attacking, though. So there's a lot of cool colors and stuff going on. So like using Eviscerate now. It's a little slowed down when you're hitting multiple people, so if I do single target, looks pretty cool. Tomahawk looks pretty much the same. Assassinate looks pretty badass. Phased Carnage went through a change. And then I'll show you Ambush. So Ambush is supposed to consume your Stalker buff. Let's trigger Stalker, and then do Ambush. I think there might be something a little bit wrong with the damage right now on Ambush, but that's fine. They're going to work out these kinks. After Ambush, we have Phantom Strike, which looks pretty much the same until you hit them with both your weapons, and there's a little bit of a change for that. Popping Vampiric Blades. Doesn't look too much different, except for now you have, that effect at the beginning of the cast that you saw. Stalker, pretty much the same. Shadow Cloak, pretty much the same, except for now you have like a runic circle around your feet. Your Stealth, no changes. Phase Port, pretty much the same. Backstab, a little bit more visually loud, I'll say. So the signature moves with the rogue are going to be your Assassinate. So that was the regular Assassinate. You saw me do a crit earlier where you hit and then it spreads out. There you go. That was 2 hits. They also have Phase Carnage, which will perform a secondary attack. I didn't get it that time, so we'll see if I get it this time. Oh, okay. So that was regular Phase Carnage. I was just critting a lot. Yeah, so that is the crit. And then Backstab is the other signature move. So it's supposed to do another secondary attack. Just like that. Regular Backstab is just the one hit like that. So that's it for the Rogue. So the Ranger's new ability, or they have 2 abilities. One of them is a buff, the other one is Blasting Shot. But Nature's Warden, so empowered by nature, reducing damage by 100% of your bonus movement speed. So right away I have 7 bonus movement speed, and then if you pop their level 15 buff, Blessing of Finesse, that bumps it up to a 22%, wrong button, 22% damage reduction flat, just for having bonus move speed. That's pretty nice. So the Ranger's auto attack didn't change, still just shooting an arrow, but going through the moves, so you have Blight Arrow, which now looks way different. Before it could kind of blend in with big fights happening, but now there's definitely no way you're not going to mistake where Blight Arrow is. It looks pretty cool. Rapid Fire still looks pretty much the same. The new move for Rangers, Blasting Shot, is where you throw some mines down, and then if they step on it, it'll deal damage and immobilize. Looks pretty cool. Salvo looks a little different. Actually, no, it doesn't. I lied. Salvo looks the same. Paralyzing Cask, though. There you go. Looks pretty much the same. Deadly Shot didn't really change, but it is a signature move, so you'll see right there I fired a second shot. So Toxic Arrow it looks kind of like how Holy Blast looked with the Cleric. How when you hit them, it has like the little stuff that bounces off. And then Poison Arrow, which now has a cool feature of when it crits, it will explode, and anybody caught in the ring will take poison damage as well. Yeah, so when it crits, that's when you get the blight arrow effect on the bottom of them. The other signature moves, so signature moves for Ranger, we have Deadly Shot, boom, you have Poison Arrow, that'll do the blight arrow effect on the bottom, and then you have Salvo, which will root them in place if it crits them. So they'll be slowed and then rooted in place. So hopping over to the champion got Brutal Strike and a couple passives, actually. So Bladed Bastion, you become fortified by the blade, increasing your melee attack power based on your block amount. And then Vicious Strikes, which increases your damage by 15% for 5 seconds when you crit with a two-handed weapon. It's pretty cool. So going down my ability list, the first one we'll see is Brutal Strike. Once you use Brutal Strike, it will swap to your other weapon. Now, I noticed when I was in a lobby the other day, it wasn't consistently switching my weapon. So, but when I'm solo playing, it's pretty consistent. I'm wondering if that's just a multiplayer bug. I'll bring it up with the devs. Next, we have Cole the Weak, which actually looks pretty badass now. The AoE taunt. Or, like, you know, AoE pull. Upheaval went through some changes. The rocks are a lot more vivid. Skin of Stone looks the same. The AoE buff for the attack damage looks the same. Cleave... Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me go back to two-handed. Cleave looks more visually appealing. Still not my favorite move, though. The heal looks the same. When you do... what was that? Recklessness and then Aggression. Yeah, they still look the same. Your auto attack still looks the same. Except for there's a little more flare, at least on the double-bladed axe. That looks the same. Charge, you know, has a little bit more of an impact when you hit. The, oh, let me show you Shield Throw. And wham. That looks the same. Shield Bash is a excellent words. Shield Bash is one of the signature moves. So normally you would just hit once, but if you crit, you hit twice. The champion also has Mighty Blow being a crit move right there. You hit twice. Pretty sick. And then Brutal Strike, you will also hit twice. Wow. What luck. I got crits right when I wanted them. That was really good. So, Brutal Strike is really cool because now it changes your, or at least my rotation of champion, because before I would hit tab to swap between my weapons. But now, not so much. Now I just have to... Oh my gosh, I hit tab. But now the rotation would look something like this. Oh, I hit tab again. Man, that's habitual. But yeah, so it gives me a little bit more oomph in my rotation, lets me do a little extra damage as I'm swapping weapons. But yeah, so this champion, and then let's go see the wizard. So the wizard got a new passive ability, a change to their ultimate, and then the Void Vortex. So the new passive Conduit makes it so where if you deal void damage, it buffs the next fire damage you do for the next 4 seconds. And if you do fire damage, it'll buff your void damage for the next 4 seconds. Really good, and I'll show you in a second. The old Ember Eruption, you would throw a fireball, teleport to it, do a little bit of damage, be completely immune and unable to do anything, and then you'd teleport back to your original location after a few moments. It was really wonky. You could use it defensively if you were really paying attention, but it wasn't really worthy of being like an ultimate skill. But now Ember Eruption, you will summon a little clone and you stealth a little bit for like a few seconds, and the clone will aggro everybody and then explode. It's actually really nice. And then the Void Tornado we'll show you in a moment. So Fireball still looks the same. I think it's a little brighter. The fireballs you throw, I think they're a little bit brighter. The Chaos Orb still looks the same. It has a little bit more of an impact. I don't remember it being able to break boxes that were that far away. You have Flame Blast, which looks a little bit different. Has the same little pop animation as the Toxic Arrow and the Holy Blast. It's also a critical move, or signature move. We'll show you that in a second. Meteor had a big change. I don't know how I feel about the new animation. I really liked the old Meteor. It felt like it just had so much oomph and impact when it hit. This one's a little bit more cartoony. Still does crazy damage, breaks everything all around it. It's still a really great move. It just looks a little bit different. The Void Vortex, this thing is sick. As you can see, it's just dealing slow damage. The ultimate, Ember Eruption. Let's target him. So now, as you can see, the clone just does some cone of fire type stuff and then detonates. And as you can see, it did make me stealth. So this wouldn't end a boss fight because you come back before the copy disappears. So the stealth is just to drop the aggro of boss off of you. You can run away, you're good for a few seconds, and then you can heal. Hopefully it'll be up off of cooldown. Fire Armor looks way more bright, especially with the aura around yourself. Pretty crazy. Looks way more aggressive. Cauterize looks the same pretty much. Emberlance looks the same pretty much. Sleep also looks the same. Just a big old cone of sleepy time. Magic Missile. Now this move went through some changes. This is a signature move, as well as being more visually loud. That was actually a crit right there, because it fired a Chaos Orb at the end of it. But yeah, as you can see, it's kind of hard to see what's going on. It doesn't really look like you're firing like 13 missiles. But when you're... Here, let me not look at something. There, as you can see, yeah. So they look a little bit more brighter, but they still have like a pretty cool pop on impact, little smoky, little void. Oh my gosh. That Tegu really wants attention. Anyway, yeah, so that's Magic Missile. And then Cone of Fire still actually looks the same. But as you can see, as a signature move now, it'll burn. If it crits, they will ignite and take damage. The other signature move, so we have Magic Missile. Nice crit. We have Cone of Fire. Nice crit. And then we have Flame Blast, which when Flame Blast crits, it will bring down a small meteor. See if I can get a crit. Boom! Look at that little guy. Boom. Nice. So the whole conduit passive for wizards are pretty crazy. I know we're super squishy, but let me just show you some of the damage we can get out. Let me back up so that Dummy's health resets. And you know, I'll pop my my wizard potion. Okay, so we're gonna come in here. We're gonna lay down the law with the Void Vortex, and then just hit him with Sleep to proc the damage buff for my armor, and just lay into him with some Cone of Fire. It's gonna be crazy. Look at that. Off of one cast of Cone of Fire, I did 1.2 million damage. 1.2 million damage. Are you kidding me? That's some crazy stuff right there. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all the new moves as well as all the new particle effects that were put in. I think it's really great. I think it's a lot more visually appealing to run through a dungeon now and hack people apart. There are still some bugs, especially with crafting, and I've noticed that some of the bosses aren't there anymore in the dungeons. But since the game is in early access, they're going to iron out these kinks, and then we'll hopefully see Ragewind in a couple months. And once we get all the kinks ironed out, I'm going to be recrafting all my gear. I'll show you guys that new stuff. And then I want to remake my run-throughs of all of the dungeons on Nightmare after this big change. Because now you have enemies that can clone themselves, they can heal themselves, they can, get damage buffs, they can become immune to CC. Bosses can do all of this stuff too. It's pretty crazy what you can find. So yeah, look forward to that. And if you guys have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Hit me up in Twitch sometime. Hit me up in Discord. And hey, I don't ask it very often, but if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. See ya.